departure for MI. You ready?
Smith Patel from Cricket Bus. Monang Patel, of course, he's been the highest run scorer for you this season. Terrific, Nick. Pooran scored a century in the last game. I know the temptation might have been to go with Pooran, but to open the innings. But how do you explain Pooran going ahead of Monang?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like breaking up successful partnerships, and look at Monarch and Quinny have been a very successful partnership for us. So it is something that they came to me with, knowing Akhil is saying as well, and basically saying this, where he's really effective is in the power play, and he wanted to go up front and face him. So yeah, I mean, a guy in form of coming off the back of 100, the captain, who really wants to go out there and set the tone from ball one. It was a decision that it's, in hindsight now, it didn't come off, but it was a brave decision that he decided that he wanted to take, and obviously it didn't come off. They didn't bowl him, which we felt was okay, because we know that he's very effective in the power play. We needed to get off to a very good start. I think the score that they got was above par on the pitch, so we sort of thought at the halfway stage, well, if we're going to get off to a good start, Nicky P is probably the matchup if they do bowl the kill. They didn't bowl him, which also wasn't a bad thing for us, because we felt that we could have capitalised to in the middle sort of parts of the game and try to send some of our big hitters to take him on. But I thought he bowled really well tonight, and sort of negated any sort of plan or tactic that we sort of had in place.
Pratik from Bat Ball. We have 3 more games left going into the playoffs, and we know Mumbai Indians to make a dramatic comeback every time. Do we have like a coach strategy moving into the Florida leg before the playoffs?
Sorry, what?
Like, do we have a coach strategy that Mumbai Indians is focusing on for the last 3 games that's left before the playoffs?
A strategy would be to try win a game. I think we've got some good players in good form. I think we've probably struggled a bit is our bowling department. We're leaking runs in big sort of ways in certain pockets of the game. Today I thought that the power play, they got away from us, scored way too many runs in the power play, and that is just maybe about bowling a touch full and not reading the conditions too well. I thought we pulled it back nicely after that, but then they got away from us at the back end again, to score over 80 runs in the last five overs, like really blew us away. So yes, we have our challenges with regards to our bowling. Going to Fort Lauderdale, we'll have a look at the conditions there. We've got a couple of spinning options. The spinning options, to be fair, haven't really worked in any of the grounds. So that's been a bit of a surprise. And we have got a squad that's quite heavy packed with spin. So yeah, hopefully the conditions sort of suit us a bit better from that perspective, and then we can. I think we can put a bit more pressure on batting teams if the ball does start turning, because we have got that in our armoury.
Neil, I know the game didn't go your way today, but talk a little bit about Paulie. He's been such an amazing icon for the MI franchise. Even today, he showed up, made a wonderful inning. Unfortunately, couldn't win the game. But what kind of example a leader like that sets for the team members moving forward? There are a few games which are very crucial for you, for your team. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, as I said, I think there's quite a few of our batters who are in form, and Polly's one of them. The tendency would have been to hold him back today, but once again, he showed that he can go and bat at any stage of the game. We all know that Polly likes to maybe have a look at a couple of balls, and he did that today, and then showed that even though it was a far fetch for us to win that game because there were too many runs, you almost felt like there could be something special coming from his side again, and he's done it before, and the reason why people will go it's never over till he's out is because he's done it so many times. So yes, his experience is key for us. We just need to try and in the bowling side of things get our combinations right. And having Polly being able to bat in any sort of position in the game is always going to be good for us. The fact that he's in form is an absolute bonus. Amongst the team now, I mean, it's tough. You go into the dressing room, the guys are pretty down because we've lost a couple of tough games, and then I wouldn't say we got blown away today, but it'd be disappointing in the change room now, and that's when you need a couple of characters to stand up, and Polly's certainly one of those guys. He's been through situations like this before. He knows how to pull it out, and how to, what to say to youngsters to keep their chins up, because that's ultimately what we need now. There's a lot of hard work that goes into these sort of competitions for teams and squads, so it's never nice when things aren't going your way. But we won't throw in the towel. In the true MR standard, we'll try and see what we can do in the next couple of games. I'm a firm believer that if we do get onto a bit of a roll, we just got to try and sneak through to the playoffs somehow. Anything can happen in a playoff game. I'm sure teams know that MR teams have done that before, just snuck in and then really played well in the playoffs. So first things first, we've got to win the next game.
Pollard's one of the better players of spin bowling, having spent a lot of time with the MI franchise in the IPL, probably 13-14 years. And there's not a lot to pick between, let's say, Faf du Plessis and Kieran Pollard in terms of T20 batting. So how flexible can we expect the team management to be, and Pollard himself to be, to probably come and bat in the 7th or 8th over and probably run away with the game with the kind of nick that he is in?
Yeah, I think we've got other batters that are batting fairly well as well. So I think you've got to look at that. I will always, most management teams will always try to play their best players in certain situations. And today, maybe usually people are used to see him going in a little bit later, but we knew that there were spin options that Texas had, and we felt that was a matchup for Polly, and hence him going out and facing a few balls before he could pull trigger, knowing that there were quite a few overs of spin left, and he showed what he can do in one over, and I think that's the reason why we sent him up. Not to say that we won't send him earlier, but I do think that we've also got quality players who are coming in before him. So it's the game of T20 cricket, it doesn't really become about batting positions anymore. It's about entry points, and certainly if we feel that Polly is going to have an impact on the game earlier rather than later, like tonight, we'll send him in because we know what he can do, and we know that he can be very destructive in any position.
So I want to ask about Boucher. He had a good spell prior to bowling the last over. I mean, of course, last over was good, but two batters completely in form. And what do you guys see in him? I want to know a lot that it instills the confidence to give him that last over in front of world-class batsmen who are hitting sixes, but this kid comes in and he still wants to bowl. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think he's young and he wants to get put in the tough situations. So I think that's a feather in his cap straight away. Often it can be a tough place to be when two informed batters are batting and it's the last over of a T20 innings on small grounds as well. So he wanted the ball, which is great. As you said, I thought he bowled fantastically well today. I think maybe having a look at the way that he is bowling, these sort of lengths that he is bowling, probably look back and think that maybe he shouldn't have gone full and bowled into the wicket. I think the one shot that Donovan Ferreira played off him was a very good shot. And he'll learn from that. Sometimes batters are allowed to play good shots as well. He probably should have carried on going into the wicket like he did, and to finally get him out. But yeah, he's got a good character. He's a youngster, so why wouldn't he have a good character? I think he's going places. He just needs to stay nice and patient, and he's still going to learn a lot, especially in competitions like this when he's under the pump. And I think you can sit and you can talk to a youngster, as I said about to Ginger the last game as well. Sometimes just being out there and in the process is where you learn the most, and I think that he'll take a lot from that experience after today.
Thank you. Thank you.